I'm back with Jamal Simmons and Sabrina Schaeffer. Okay, Saturday Night Live had a very funny skit about undecided voters and the questions they still have. Let's watch.
We're not impressed by political spin or 30-second sound bites. Before you get our vote, you're going to have to answer some questions. Questions like,
when is the election? How soon do we have to decide?
What are the names of the two people running? And be specific.
Who is the president right now? Is he or she running?
Okay, they're making fun of the undecideds, but are they really undecided or uninformed? What is the true story of these people?
Well, are we talking about undecideds or these sort of independents? So often we're talking about independents as if they make up a third of the electorate, when the reality is we're really probably talking about a very narrow 10% of the electorate who actually may swing to the right or swing to the left. Most independents are actually more partisan than weak partisans. So it's very interesting that we're spending so much attention on this very narrow sliver of the electorate.
But isn't it true, Jamal, that it's really the base that has to come out really for Obama and for Romney in order for them to win?
The bases do have to show up.
Yeah.
And also, when we talk about the undecideds, there are a few people who, in the middle, who are, picking their kids up and taking them to school and getting them home at night, taking care of their parents, making dinner. There's 50 other things going on in their lives than politics. And so a lot of them, they look up and they realize, oh, the leaves are changing colors, it's a little cold outside, maybe there's an election coming up. And they turn on the television and they try to see who it is, who's running and what
but
they want to do.
Are those undecided or what they call low information voters?
A lot of them are both.
Yeah,
right. They're low
both.
information, so therefore they haven't made a decision. They'll see a TV ad, they'll see a debate, they'll watch the news a couple of days, and they'll ask a neighbor who they know pays attention to politics, who are you voting for today? They'll tell them, and then they'll go out and vote for that person.
Wow.
And that's where the enthusiasm is so important. I mean, actually, if you look at Romney's share of voters, it really hasn't moved since last January. I think if Romney's going to win, it's going to be all based on enthusiasm. I think President Obama may be able to bring in a share, but I think if Romney wins, it's going to be largely a function of enthusiasm. Getting those people
so Romney has to get that 10%.
I think he has to get a lot of his base. I mean, he has to get. I think people
they are much
more.
For him.
Well, yes and no. I mean, there's a lot more enthusiasm than there was at this point in 2008. So yes, but he has. We have 2 weeks still. So.
And for the president, it's young voters. It's getting a lot of African Americans to show up. He's doing really well with Latinos, so he has to do better, and he's got to do pretty well with women in order to make it.
Well, I understand. I think I heard this today that if women were just voting, Obama is a shoo-in.
That's right.
Well, no. I mean, who are we talking about? Married women, single women? I mean, look.
Just women. Generally, women like Obama.
Right. I think.
Well, maybe, but I think that we're often very glib with how we talk about women. I mean, the fact is McCain won the largest block of female voters by a 4-point margin. The problem was that Obama won single women by a 45-point margin. So we do have that single women issue to contend with this time. But
and the campaign sort of talks about them as unmarried women because some of them are divorced, they're single, they've never been married, maybe they have kids, maybe they don't. There are all kinds of ways that people chop it up. But ultimately, there are women who, a lot of them are urban. They live in cities, that kind of thing.
Well, women who don't want to be thrown off the safety net also are going to vote for Obama. They're not going to vote for Romney. They'd be crazy to vote for Romney if they're on Medicare or if they're on Social Security.
Crazy to have more choices and more flexibility in their lives. Yeah.
When you're poor, you don't really care about choices and flexibility.
I think you do.
Not as much.
I think that's absolutely wrong. I mean, if you're poor, why would you want your health insurance, for instance, tied to your place of employment?
No, when you're poor, you just want health insurance.
Yeah, but why would you not want to be able to choose where your children go to school? I mean, of course you need more flexibility.
But do you really think that the Republican Party is really for those people?
Well, let's hope that they're getting a lot of the right messages.
Their positions? Oh, really?
No, that is so.
Mitt Romney said it himself, right? He stood up at a fundraiser and said there are 47% of the people in the country who are on the government dole who I'll never convince that they need to do. So he basically debased everybody who, for any reason, receives any support from the government. I met a guy, he was a veteran down in Florida. He came up to me, he said, I'm a veteran, I'm on VA benefits. I'm not a weakling. I'm a warrior. I'm not somebody who's on a dole.
I'm not going to defend, Governor Romney's comments, but I do think that the idea that poor people don't benefit from choice and flexibility is absurd and patronizing. Come on.
It's not that.
I didn't quite mean it like that. I didn't quite mean it like that. I've been on unemployment insurance, and I was more concerned about getting some food on the table for my kid. I was a single parent, and that was really more my position rather than do I have choices in this world? I just needed the money. When you need the money, that's what you care about.
Right. But there are other organizations that can step in when government's not there. I mean, the fact is government crowds out there.
But will they still be there if Romney gets in?
They're not. those civic organizations will be there. They're being crowded out by government. I mean, look what the whole debate over the HHS mandate is. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, I gotta go. Thank you, Sabrina and Jamal.
We'll argue off stage.
You can do that. Next up, I'll be joined by the funny and filthy mouth, Bob Saget. I keep saying that, but he's a darling.